Welcome back. Let's jump right into today's explainer, where we're tracing a massive chain reaction, how the sheer physical movement of people inevitably sparks deep ideological transformation. We usually think of history as this series of static events, just dates on a page. But honestly, the reality is way more kinetic. When people start moving in mass, they don't just change their zip code, they literally reshape the fabric of the societies they pass through and the ones they eventually build. So, how exactly does this physical movement ignite what we call an unfinished social revolution? That's the central mystery we're unraveling today. We're looking at the raw momentum of human migration. Think about it for a second. When populations shift, they don't pack light. They bring their ideas, their friction, their demands, and their whole way of living right along with them. A moving population is the ultimate catalyst. But how does the simple act of crossing a map turn into a complex social revolution? Let's find out. Section 1. Crossing the porous border. We have to begin where the movement actually starts, right at the boundaries. If you look at the topography and settlement patterns here, it really grounds that abstract concept of a border into something tangible. Notice how it's not some solid brick wall, it's a gradient. It's this living, breathing zone of constant transition where geography dictates movement way more than any legal decree ever could. And that brings us to the clash between maps and reality. Politicians in distant rooms draw these clean, geometric, rigid lines and expect them to hold. But the lived reality? It's remarkably porous. It's messy, it's vibrant, and it's totally fluid. People trade, they intermarry, they seek out better resources, and they pretty much ignore the theoretical ink on the map. Historically, a border acted less like a stop sign and way more like an active crossing point. Look at this incredible nexus of interaction. People aren't just stopping here, they're staging for the next leg of their journey. This initial crossing, it's really just the spark. The momentum is only just starting to build.
Which brings us to Section 2, a nation on the move.
Just look at the sheer speed and momentum of this population shift over these critical decades. We kick things off in Decade 1 with those early, tentative migration waves. But then, bam, Decade 2 hits with a massive transportation boom, acting as a huge force multiplier. By the time we reach Decade 3, we aren't just looking at movement anymore. This is mass internal settling. The snowball has officially turned into an avalanche.
But, and this is a big but, the actual experience of this internal movement varied wildly depending on who you were. Contrast the well-equipped, super comfortable expeditions with the grueling, desperate journeys right next to them. It highlights a really fascinating truth. Momentum isn't egalitarian. The friction of the journey was heavily dictated by class, wealth, and status right from the get-go.
Now check out how new modes of transport radically altered the physical distance between these previously isolated communities. Seeing a technological marvel like this cut straight through the landscape, well, it's not just about moving cargo. It's about shrinking the world. A journey that used to take 3 incredibly dangerous months suddenly took a week. That meant ideas, news, and political philosophies were now traveling at an unprecedented velocity. All this demographic momentum meant totally different cultures, traditions, and ideas were suddenly forced to share the exact same physical space. Just look at the chaotic, rapid construction of this boomtown. You've got folks from totally different backgrounds, viewing the world in entirely different ways, suddenly living shoulder to shoulder. The isolation of the past is completely gone. And honestly, when you compress that much diverse human energy into a brand new settlement, friction is an absolute guarantee. So, here's a question for you. When a nation is constantly on the move like this, what happens to the social structures left behind? This is the major turning point in our explainer, where sheer physical momentum officially transforms into a powerful ideological collision. Think about the old social hierarchies. They relied on stability, right? They relied on people staying exactly where they were told. But when millions of people simply pack up and leave, those old rules just don't survive the trip. And that leads us to Section 3. The unfinished revolution. This quote perfectly captures the core disruption at play. You literally cannot shift a massive population without also shifting the balance of power. Think about it. When someone moves 1,000 miles to build a totally new life from scratch, they are fundamentally less likely to accept being treated like a second-class citizen when they arrive. The physical uprooting creates a psychological uprooting. The old rules simply no longer apply. Because of this, these newly shared spaces generated some very specific, unresolved tensions that absolutely demanded society be reshaped. We see this fierce collision of traditional versus new ideas. We see loud, undeniable demands for social equality. largely because the frontier leveled the playing field. We're looking at shifting class structures, where old wealth suddenly had to compete with new hustle. And of course, the painful, ongoing process of cultural integration. These aren't just dry historical bullet points. These are the actual pressure cookers of a new society being born. And these are the real human faces leading the charge in this highly volatile social dynamic. Just look at their expressions and postures. These aren't polished politicians giving speeches. These are everyday people who felt the absolute brunt of the social tensions we just talked about. It speaks volumes about that grassroots determination. They're the ones demanding that the old social contracts be totally rewritten to reflect their new realities. Check out the massive scale of this gathering. It's a direct, cascading consequence of the internal migration patterns we broke down earlier. Because transportation shrunk the map, and because those boomtowns concentrated such diverse populations, organizing on this massive scale became possible for the very first time. This is no small local protest. This is a huge, unified demonstration of ideological power made physically possible by the sheer momentum of the era. Notice how all that energy builds into organized, collective demands that challenge the very fabric of the old society. The energy has shifted from the dirt roads and the frontier directly to the doorsteps of major institutions. The people here are no longer just trying to survive. They are demanding structural reform. They're insisting quite literally that the laws of the land catch up to the reality on the ground. And you can visibly see the sustained energy here, which perfectly illustrates exactly why this social revolution is accurately framed as unfinished. Look, a single protest might change a law, but it definitely doesn't instantly change a culture. The social frictions created by mass migration require generations to resolve. The momentum captured here proves that the fight for a fully realized, integrated, and equal society didn't just wrap up neatly at the end of a decade.
Finally, Section 4, the legacy of movement. Let's quickly review this clear cause and effect journey, showing how one step practically guarantees the next. Step 1 starts right at the edges, with porous boundaries allowing that initial flow. Step 2 sees technology scaling this up into mass internal migration. Step 3 shows that sudden density inevitably causing an ideological collision, which brings us to Step 4, the completely unavoidable social transformation. It's like a line of dominoes. You really can't have one without the rest falling right behind it.
Take a close look at this modern landscape, and you'll see how intensely this history of human movement connects directly to the social structures we navigate today. The borders, the city grids, the demographic layouts, they are all physical echoes of the migration waves and the social revolutions we've just spent time analyzing. The past isn't gone. We are literally walking right on top of it. I want to leave you with a provocative thought to ponder. How is the incredible momentum of the past still actively shaping our present world? Have the tensions of integration and equality actually been resolved, or are we just in the next phase of this massive historical kinetic energy? The borders might look a bit firmer on our modern maps, but that human drive to move, to gather, and to demand a better society, that momentum never actually stopped. Thank you for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning the map, and I'll catch you next time.